Hi there. Today I am back in my garden and I am going to talk about a few flowers that I love to plant to bring pollinators. So bees, butterflies, hummingbirds. So when I initially started my garden, I was not aware I knew that pollinators loved flowers, but I did not know that I could change really the background environment of my yard by planting so many flowers. So also today I'm going to plant a few more seeds because I try to plant something every week and just kind of keep something growing, something new going every week. So anyway, what I was saying is when I first started my garden, I had sunflowers in containers for years, and then during 2020 I started a little tiny spot in the back corner of my garden. It wasn't like this. It was a very small area, and I decided to plant pumpkin seeds. So I planted pumpkin seeds, and not really understanding how big the vine was going to get, I kept expanding the garden. So anyway, long story short, now I have 4x16 garden flower beds or garden beds in my backyard. I mostly plant flowers, but sometimes I'll plant like carrots or beans or peas and pumpkins, watermelons. But a few of the flowers, well, I'll name some of my top flowers that I plant to bring pollinators to my backyard. So number one, let's see, I planted a lot of different brands, varieties, whatever, it doesn't really matter. But last year I planted zinnias, like this burpee zinnias. I actually planted these on the side of my yard, more like in my side yard, front yard area. Another variety of zinnias, but I've also ordered from Amazon, Johnny Seeds, Florette. Let's see, I get a lot of seeds from Lowe's and Home Depot. Another one is Cosmos. So Cosmos attract a lot of pollinators. This brand, Sweet Yards, I just got these from Amazon, but I've ordered them from Botanical Interest. I've gotten them from Home Depot, Lowe's, just anywhere, like any kind of Cosmos. So sunflowers, this is a small variety, but anyway, I usually plant multiple types of sunflowers. Like, I think they're called like just giant sunflowers. So giant sunflowers, regular sunflowers, red sunflowers, orange, light colored, lemon, any kind of sunflower is going to attract pollinators to your garden. So that's another one. Also, this is a perennial, so these are going to come back every year, but they're not going to bloom the first year. So echinacea, I actually have some behind me. You can see a little purple. I planted those last year and they bloomed this year for the first time. I have some in other areas that I think I planted even the year before that, like the fall before that, and they just bloomed this year. I think if you buy them from the garden center, they will probably already bloom. They will bloom the first year you get them, but if you just plant them from seed yourself, just plan that it's going to be the next year before you have any blooms. Another good one is, this is Mexican sunflower. This is Tithonia. These are really good for attracting pollinators. I planted these last year in the fall, or like the end of summer, and then they started growing in the fall. I was trying to plant them in a spot and they weren't growing very well, and I finally got them to grow last year and they got pretty tall, and so these attracted a lot of butterflies. So butterflies, bees, probably hummingbirds also. Another one one of my favorites, you can see behind me, the yellow right here, those are black-eyed Susans. Those are also perennials. So usually, sometimes those will grow the first year though. So I've planted those, or they just reseed themselves. Like this one right here and that one behind me. Well, there's one in the very far back. I didn't plant that one. It just seeded itself over there and started growing. So sometimes those can kind of, I don't want to say take over, but just you know, be aware. Once you get used to what their little petals look like, if you have one grow somewhere you don't want it, you can just pull it and toss it or move it. Another one, which I planted these not last year with you, before that, are the shasta daisies, the white flowers behind me. I planted those in the fall of 2023. They just overwintered, so that means they in my garden zone 8B, they survived, but they were just leaves. So the leaves grew, and then last year I just had like green foliage. I didn't have any flowers. So this year I have shasta daisies for the first time. So the good thing about the perennials like black-eyed Susan, shasta daisy, echinacea, this patch right here and some of these other ones, in the fall, or when it gets probably colder, I'll just cut them down. They will put mulch around them or leaves, and they will grow back every year. So they'll come back in the spring without me really having to do anything. So they will kind of bring early pollinators, where the annuals like the zinnias, cosmos, sunflowers bring like late spring to early summer pollinators, and then those will continue. All of them will continue to bring the pollinators really all summer long into the fall. So I even had the some of the zinnias and the Mexican sunflower. I had those all the way through October, I think, last year, maybe even into November in my garden zone 8B, which I'm in a pretty warm zone. If you don't have that long of a growing season, you know, you may not have them that far into the fall, but I just wanted to mention that. So far, I just wanted to share like some things that I planted in my garden so far this year. I have dahlias that I planted from seed. Those were a pack from Floret that I had purchased last February, not 2025, 2024. Purchased the Floret dahlias, and I planted those last year, but I planted them in a spot where they weren't really getting enough sun. I think the soil was too compact, but anyway, I planted some in containers, and I have those growing. They're doing pretty well. They're already double the size that they were last year. So I've got those. I've got cosmos planted, zinnias, sunflowers, echinacea, shasta daisies, black-eyed Susans, elephant ears for the first time, and Mexican sunflower. I think that's it. But that's kind of, you know, a combination of perennials, except the elephant ears. That's like a combination of like perennials and annuals that you can have in your garden that are going to bring lots of butterflies, lots of bees, and occasional hummingbirds. The hummingbirds, just, you never know when they're coming. They just buzz in. You'll hear them. Sometimes I'm out here and I never have my phone or anything to capture it. They're so fast. So they'll just kind of buzz in, land on a flower, and then usually go back into one of the trees, and then they're gone. But it's such a peaceful, calm environment when you can come outside and you just have the butterflies. Especially when the butterflies come, they are everywhere. I mean, when the zinnias get full size or medium to full size, there will be a constant flow of butterflies in my backyard all summer long, and even into the fall. So the bees, same. The bees are usually attracted to the zinnias. There's a variety of bees. I've noticed that like the bumblebees really like the zinnias. They don't bother you. They just hang out on the flowers. They even go to sleep, which I didn't know, but they will, work all day, get tired, and you'll come out in the garden and there will be like a bee like sleeping in the flower, hanging upside down, just not moving, sleeping in the flower. And that's really cute to see. So, and then there's another variety, other varieties of bees that come and go, but none of them bother me. I've never been stung. I don't bother them. They don't bother me. They're just getting pollen and doing their thing. So anyway, also in my previous video, which if you haven't seen that, I will link it here. That was, I was planting last week. Hang on. Okay, sorry. Last week I planted some sugar baby, it's like a bush type watermelon, and I planted one little mound of pumpkins. I cannot remember. Oh, Jack B. Little pumpkins. And I just planted one little mound because the vine's probably gonna be pretty long, and I did not want it to take over my whole garden. I would love to learn how to like trellis or have those grow up something, but I have not tried that yet. So maybe this year, maybe next year, I'm not sure. So anyway, last week I planted those. All of those they're germinating. I have little pumpkin sprouts, I have little watermelon sprouts, and I have a couple more areas that I have left open that I want to plant. So I ordered these Queenie formula zinnias. I had these last year. They were very, very pretty. I'll try to share some photos of those. And they were just so pretty. I mean, they bloomed all summer long, and they're just one of my favorites. I got another, I think these are new. These are Zinnia Aurora. I've never planted these. These are kind of a lighter color flowers. So I haven't tried these, so I'm excited. I think this pack had 50 probably seeds, and then I got a bigger pack of the Queenie formula. These are 100 in here. And one more thing I got, which I'm not sure if I'm gonna plant this today, is celosia. I have not such great luck with celosia, but it is such a pretty flower. And I'm gonna try it again and see what happens. So these are called Pampas Plume Celosia. So 3 of these varieties from Johnny Seeds. Definitely planting the zinnias on this side over here. And then I think I'm gonna plant some right here because I have a spot left in the corner, and I don't want to have these big open gaps left. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get started, and it's getting hot, so it's humid, and you can tell my hair gets bigger as the video goes on. So I'm gonna get started and plant those now, and I'll be back. Okay, I planted the, what did I plant? I planted half of the Queenie formula, Queen Lime Zinnia formula over here. That was 100 seeds. I'm gonna split it and plant that with the Aurora zinnias over there on the other side. So I'm gonna do that next. Okay, so I planted those. I planted the Aurora and the Queenie Lime Johnny Seeds zinnias right here. Sunflowers are going to be behind it. Hopefully the squirrels keep eating my sunflower seeds, or the birds. Sunflower seeds over there, zinnias, cosmos, dahlias, black-eyed Susan. I have a pumpkin. My elephant ears are looking good. So these, just quick little update. These are the floret dahlias that I planted from seed, I think in March. One of them is even getting a little bloom, or gonna have a little bloom. These are supposed to get about 4 to 5 feet tall. Right now, I would say this one is the tallest. That one I think is not growing because I have too many together. Like, it's multiple tubers together. That one's getting taller. That one's doing okay. So I'm gonna put these two, or one at least, right here, so maybe it can catch up. I don't want to waste them. Have a little watermelon seed there, little watermelon, cute. And yeah, and then here's my other side. If you haven't watched before, I just planted the zinnias there. Those are Cosmos zinnias, black-eyed Susan, sunflowers in the back, black-eyed Susans, more Cosmos and zinnias in the middle, and these are all my perennials, which are looking good. So I planted the so I planted the Johnny's seeds, the zinnias. I'm just gonna do a couple other things in the garden today, but I just wanted to share and like kind of recap that if you want to plant flowers that are going to attract pollinators, there's multiple types of perennials or annuals that will attract pollinators to your garden. So I am going to finish this video by just watering the seeds that I just planted. And if you watched all the way to the end, thank you for watching. See you next time.